Hi everyone. I love it. I love it when you all are here. Thank you so much for being here. Good morning. How's your day? Is it morning, late? What time zone? what kind of thing does your time zone do right now? You're all over the place. I love that. To be honest, that's so cool that we're from everywhere, and it just like it feels like the entire world is coming together in one chat. That's so cool. That's why I love the internet. You can't just, you know, talk to everybody. That's so awesome. Because we're going to do some more Infectious Madness of Dr. Dekker. Have you all got some thing to drink? A little water? I have some water at my side where it belongs, because you all got water. I've got my coffee. I'm in all potato mode. I'm in my hoodie. Around at the speed of sound. Wait. This fucked everything up. I need more screens. Well, since you're all already there, so plenty, I'm actually gonna not like have 1.5 hours of just chatting before we go into the game. I'm actually gonna move over immediately. Okay, let's go and do some madness now.
At midnight each day.
On Valentine's night.
Time as you know it freezes.
20 minutes past 10.
Keep up, Doctor.
Thinks we're going to smother her in her sleep.
I'm a grave digger, Doctor.
I was
It's what we did before,
David is
Nia.
my husband.
all on my lonesome.
Stabbed him with a steak knife.
Nothing changes.
I'm a qualified angel
Stabby,
of
yeah.
death when I'm dancing.
You get this day over and over.
Hilda,
I black out,
I don't think she's got long.
And Laurie just...
naked on the beach.
Hannah.
Is that it for today?
Honestly, Nia, that's such a cool setup, Nia. We will talk to the new people, Nia. We just had a loop, Nia. I'm gonna talk to the new people first, Nia. Cause this is Act 2, Valentine's Day, Nia. You just got a combination of what we did before, Nia. But, you know, Nia, new day, new patients. A couple of patients have come in again, which is Nathan, Mariana, Ellen, Bryce, Claire, yeah. But Lacey, yeah, Jasmine, yeah, have come in. Nathan was actually the one that we ended on last time, and I was thinking about going with Nathan again, yeah. But I kind of want to get to know Lacey and Jasmine because they are already done for the main storyline, yeah. So I can only green them out. And now, of course, want to green out as much as possible again, yeah. We've got Lacey, yeah. We don't know Lacey yet. So let's ask Lacey who she is, yeah. Because, you know, who are you, yeah? Who the fuck are you? Yeah. Does it work if I type the nya in? Who are you, nya?
Keep asking. But I don't know.
Okay, it doesn't work with the nya. Okay.
I'm Lacey Hendricks.
Okay, so Lacey, yeah. Lacey actually... Oh, clues. We've got clues. We can watch the Alderby footage. Oh my god, yeah. Okay, we got the responses. Let's hear the response again, yeah.
I'm Lacey Hendricks. So you don't know about me then?
Wait. Know what? About you.
Where to start? My next door neighbour in Jobson Hill, where I live, she was murdered. 80.
She was murdered, yeah.
And they diversion burgled her.
Oh.
But she was wise to it and started calling the police. They slit her throat with a bread knife. So I started a neighbourhood watch.
They used a bread knife? That's disgusting. He uses a bread knife. Bread knives are dull as fuck. At least, like, unless it's like a big one, you know, the big one for the loaves of breads. But that's still, like, that's more like a saw. Like they must have saw. Honestly, you can do that more efficient. Let's be honest here. A bread knife? Yeah, like the if it's actually a big bread knife, the jagged ones, like that's like a saw. You saw the head right out. That's, come on. How many were they? Like, how many people do you need? You need at least one strong person to, you know, hold the one that you kill, and another strong person to hold the head, so it keeps, you know, in the same place, because otherwise this will take even longer. And, you know, if you're in a burglary, you want to go out as far as possible, you know? You want to go out as fast as possible. So that kind of doesn't make sense. That's like the most stupid idea one could have. Just, you know, there are so many knives in the kitchen. Take a fillet knife or something sharp. God dang it. Fucking amateurs, nya. I'm glad she said bread knife, nya, not butter knife. Butter knife, nya, would have been... I mean, that's still possible, but nya. Amateurs, nya. There's so many butter knives suited for that and doing a quick job, nya. So, nya, you've been getting this form for way too long, nya. You've been getting this form for way too long, nya. You naughty chat not telling me, nya. I could have stopped saying nya, nya. Let's ask her about the neighborhood witch, because she said she, after this, started with the neighborhood witch, and she seems very proud of it. But to be honest, that might be one of the reasons she's looking out so much. Maybe she's very interested in others' lives instead of her own. We'll ask her a couple of questions. When she's greened out, we will go and watch the footage together. Be so kind and tell me about the neighborhood watch. Because, you know, getting to know her is always a good first step, right?
It was me and Agnes. Everyone else thought we were overreacting. If they want their throats cut, that's up to them, living in their bubbles.
I mean, they were scared.
Agnes.
Basically traumatizing.
Poor Agnes.
Poor Agnes? Is anything wrong with Agnes?
She went missing, and still is. And that's what people think. But it's not the truth.
But then... Wait, then what is the truth? I'm happy she's opening up that fast, though. Like, she seems to really want somebody to talk to. And as we are slipping in the role of a psychiatrist, of course, psychology duties, as in just being a listener, an active listener at that, especially. You're not a passive listener. In psychology, you have to be an active listener. You know, questioning, mirroring, everything. That seems to be just what she needs.
Killed them. It looks normal enough. A smartly dressed, door-to-door saleswoman. I know because I heard my other neighbours shout at her. No Jehovah's! They think anyone knocking is a Jehovah. But she said she was selling double glazing.
It's kind of a detective game. Yes, and we are stepping in for the psychiatrist Dr. Dekker. And Dr. Dekker has been murdered on Valentine's night with a knife, as far as we know, in his bureau. So there are multiple options, but everyone he saw is potentially a suspect. Now, our plan is it to first, of course, step in for him, grant the patients more therapy. The second one is... No, it was not a butter knife, I think. It was just... It was called a knife. We don't know what kind of knife. Oh, don't worry. And we also want to find out about the murder of him. Who could have murdered him, who could have not. And we're kind of working with the police here. And our secretary will sometimes hand us new things over, new information. But we also have to sit with the secretary in between, because The whole murder thing has also really gotten to her. And then there's Ben, which we haven't seen yet, but it's the cleaner that found the body while doing cleaning duty at night, and he must be severely traumatized. He is, or he has not been ready to come in yet. So, it was very well written, and we kind of talk about stuff. So let's go.
Killed them.
It killed him.
It looks normal enough. A smartly dressed door-to-door saleswoman. I know because I heard my other neighbours shout at her. No Jehovah's! They think anyone knocking is a Jehovah. But she
Shouting.
said she was selling double glazing.
Okay, she was selling double glazing. That was correct. And she said shouting at her. And the first time she said it, I understood sheltering her. I was confused. So, was the woman really selling double glazing? Because, you know, it seems... So, she seems to think she knows exactly what's happening here, so,
I don't know. I didn't answer the door. It's not to nowadays. But I watched her go to Agnes's. Poor Agnes. She let her right into her house.
she thinks the saleswoman killed Agnes. So, what do you think happened? I mean, she seemed about to cry for a second, but let's see. What do you think happened after Agnes let the woman into her house? House. My brain is just weird just now.
I could only see the silhouette. It turned from a person into a, well, it looked like, I guess you'd call it a Medusa. Snakes for her face. And Agnes just fell to the floor. A few minutes later, the woman left, smiling like the cat that got the cream. That was the end of Agnes.
I once again remind all of you, it doesn't matter if this was actually what happened to her. It doesn't matter at all. It doesn't matter if Agnes is dead or just missing. It doesn't matter if there was actually a Medusa or this is just what her mind made it up to be to make whatever she saw a little less traumatizing. For her, this is real. And that's the only thing that matters. You know? Always remind you all. If you talk to somebody who is struggling with mental stuff, no matter what it is, if they are struggling with something, that issue is as real to them as the air they breathe. And it will be rude as fuck if you try to play it down, plus it won't help them in the long run. I'll keep my own beliefs to myself. I'll let her get through this on her own. The only thing I do is leading her to, you know, think about it by asking questions. And she ultimately does the entire thinking work alone. She ultimately has to do this work. I cannot do that work for her. That's with everyone you want to help that you feel is mentally struggling. Always remind yourselves you cannot do their work for them. That's not what would help them. They have to do these steps alone. What you can, of course, do is, you know, ask them questions, but I'd always tell you to make them feel like getting therapy is a good option. There are like good therapists around. There's also the good site called BetterHelp. I'm not affiliated with them, but I mean, I was thinking of asking them because it kind of fits the game. There are multiple ways to also, from the safety of your home, get the help of a licensed therapist. There's also the thing, being a therapist can tire you out mentally a lot. and you have to know your way around it, how to deal with it, maybe have your own therapist. Know that you don't have to be the therapist for your friends or loved ones. That is not your duty. Your duty is to support them. And you don't have to do the work for them, because it doesn't matter anyway. They have to do these steps on their own. They have to come to these realizations alone. And sometimes your mind isn't ready for what actually happened, for example, in this case, maybe. So it will do stuff to deal with it. That's also a thing that happens with disassociation sometimes. If you're not mentally ready to deal with what you're currently experiencing, some people deal with it by, you know, watching it from a viewer's perspective. This is happening to somebody else. This isn't happening to me. That's a combination of disbelief and being unable to face what is currently happening, and usually a situation of severe trauma. But it can of course be triggered by similar situations after that happen. That might take some time for them to build the mental fortitude to face that as what it has been. So what she lived through here was exactly what happened to her right now. Everything else she needs to unpack on her own. But does she really know if Agnes is dead? Like, do you have maybe proof that Agnes is dead? Because having no proof might help her questioning the circumstance, you know?
I saw it with my own eyes. What more proof do I need?
Okay.
You're starting to sound like Dr. Dekker. He didn't believe me either.
Hey, I believe you. By the way, I'm too long in this room again. It's just so much on my screen. You see why I have not enough screens, right? So she saw it with her own eyes. Let's see more about her, like her relationship with Dr. Dekker. Tell me about Dr. Dekker then.
I didn't have much luck with him, like I said. He didn't believe me. He thought I was having a hallucination caused by the stress of my neighbour being so brutally murdered. Where is Agnes, though? I haven't found her, have they? Have they?
You know, my question is, was Agnes the neighbor that was murdered? She started the neighborhood watch with the murdered neighbor afterward to, you know, work through that on her own. And when she realized that person is definitely gone, that fear kicked in differently. That would be an entirely different thing. It would also be possible. Or she just has shit happening to her. You never know. Hey, you never know. That's harsh. What we learn of this right now, of this current conversation, is clearly she needs somebody to believe her. She's sick of everybody telling her she's crazy, probably. Because, of course, I mean, if somebody were to come over and tell you a Medusa killed my neighbor, your first reaction would be, cool story, bro, needs more dragons. But she's not here for that sort of reaction, right? She's here to be believed. And she has expressed that she doesn't feel like that's the case. I wish I could make it differently, but I have a feeling that just telling her, I believe you, you know, won't do a thing. So, But stories always needs more dragons and kitties, true? True. Hers at least has a Medusa in it. That's cool. That's cool enough. But that doesn't change the fact that it's real for her, you know? And we do not tell people that what they feel isn't real. That's just the thing we don't. Because what you feel is always real. No matter how you feel it. No matter why you feel it. No matter how irrational it is. It's real. It's very real for you. And that's the only thing that matters. And it's okay to be angry, be sad, be crying, you know, feeling all the feelings is completely fine. And sometimes it's hard as fuck, but Luckily, we usually all get through it, and some people do so with help, and that is the help of a licensed therapist, psychologist, or psychiatrist. Sometimes people go to a licensed herbalist to like get some herbs that calm them down if they don't want other alternatives, but a licensed herbalist is never a person to do therapy with. But they can, of course, if you like feel like you would like to have that more than anything else, they can of course provide assistance in the form of herbs, but that should be always also talked about in your therapy session, so that it is always known to all participants what the current course of action is, you know, because that's the easiest way to help you if you're as transparent as possible. But of course it takes time to open up, and not every place is safe enough to do so, or might feel safe enough to do so, and that's fine. We are playing the role of a psychiatrist. Disclaimer, I'm not a licensed therapist, psychologist, or a psychiatrist, just take an interest in these things. My mom has been a licensed psychologist, but I sadly cannot ask her about these things anymore and have her like be on the stream to offer her knowledge, like not personal advice, but just knowledge, because my mom died at the start, like at the first quarter of this year, at the end of that. Fun fact, she died in the night to what is called the Day of Luck. That was a little sad. But don't worry about me, by the way. I took the entire summer to mourn. I'm fine. I do miss her, but I'm fine, okay? Before everybody is sad again. I'm fine. I do miss her, but I'm fine. I had to take a loan, sadly, to take the entire summer off to take time for myself, but I'm fine, okay? But yeah, it is sad, but don't worry about me. I dealt with it, okay? I'm okay. It took me until August, and I was able to kinda end it with what would have been her 69th birthday. Like, her age was almost nice. So, it also was way too early, but that's what it is sometimes, right? Like, my stepmom died way too early, my mom died way too early. I was hoping I had her for a couple more years, but it's just not what happened, you know? Sadly. I wish it was different. Jim, I'm glad you're doing a bit better. I never feel pressure to not be okay. I know, Blue Scarlet, it's fine. I have mixed feelings about allowing myself to mourn, or like that I allowed myself to mourn before. Because I wanted to do that way earlier, but I was unable to do so because my family kept bothering me by trying to help me, and that just kept me from doing anything because, you know, I need time for myself in such moments. Everyone is different. And it took me 3 months to get them to stop bothering me and understand that I needed time for myself. And then it was summer months, so I didn't have a lot of work either. And I literally had to take up quite a big loan for that. That mourning period that I needed and that helped me a lot has come at a uselessly high monetary cost. But, you know, it's what you gotta do, right? It's what you gotta do. Like, by now, I lost both my moms. My granddad died while I was young, but I was quite okay with it because he was saying goodbye for years before that, and he died in the 70s. My dad is currently 77, still going strong. I mean, you never know when that will end. I will probably be mourning a lot when my dad dies too. Probably similar to my mom. I know I did the same for my stepmom. It just happened a little differently. I had more work to throw myself at, you know? So it took, in general, entirely way longer. It almost took me a year, but it was like way less condensed. And with my mom, I just needed to take that condensed time off. Because when my parents divorced, I decided to go with my mom. So she was most of my life with me instead of my dad. But I had seen my dad a lot of times. And now it's like more with my dad. No, thank you for subbing, Blue. Welcome. Thank you for becoming a subby. Enjoy your emotes. So yeah, that's what happened. I mean, before my mom died, I was already doing more with my dad or talking more with my dad than with my mom. Like that kind of shifted slowly, but that was just really at the end. And I had a long time where I just had the same type of contact with both, but I already had not seen my mom for a long time because she wasn't able to leave the house for a long time. And I also think it might have been, maybe she just wanted it to end, you know? Because she always wanted to go outside, but she was confined to her house for years already. So, and that was never a thing for her to do. She probably withered away because of that too. I don't know. To be honest, I am blessed with you, chat. I am blessed to no end with you, chat. I'm blessed to have like wonderful hobbies, like the streaming and finding wonderful friends. I'm blessed to have some of the best friends you can wish for. I've got wonderful loves. Like, I'm completely fine on that regard. The only thing that is like a continuous problem in my life is money, because I grew up poor. We had to live in a garden shed for a while, but that was like, and we lived in houses that were about to break down and stuff. We actually had to move out of 1 or 2 houses because they were, we were told that they are not a place that people can live anymore. I now have a bigger apartment than my mom, my stepdad, and I had once, where my mom and my stepdad were sleeping in the living room, which was living room and kitchen. So if I wanted to get something out of the kitchen at midnight, I had to be very, very quiet. And I was sleeping on the massage bed thingy that my mom had in her bureau, because she did like a combination of feng shui, herbalism, psychology, and massages for a while. My mom, by the way, has had a lot of licenses. Like, her walls were always plastered with diplomas and licenses and everything, so she learned a lot. I kind of want all of them, but it's kind of hard to like get them from my stepdad. I'm gonna ask my dad at some point to drive over there with me again so we can get more stuff, because I want her old psychology stuff and all to read through again. I loved reading that as a child, but we'll do so in time. Like, I'm kind of sorry for my stepdad being all alone. At the start I was like, fuck it, but I promised my mom I would be there for him if he asks. Even though before I always would, you know, not have any contact with that man whatsoever. It's been a little harder, but I started to forgive him slowly, so that's something. But yeah, that continuous problem. The fucking money. Everybody wants it, and I don't have it. It's actually sad though. This is one of the main reasons for severe depressions in my life. Because of the people in my life, I have reason to hope that it will be better. I'm actually quite fine. Like, the real answer to that would be way darker, but overall I'm fine. Thank you for asking. How are you, Shiver? Thank you all for listening to that bloody bullshit. But
I didn't have much luck with him, like I said. He didn't believe me. He thought I was having a hallucination caused by the stress of my neighbour being so brutally murdered.
I mean, that is possible, but still.
Where is Agnes, though? I haven't found her, have they?
See...
Have they?
She asked me, but how do I know? Let's look into notes. That doesn't help me. Do I have any clues in the Elderby footage? Common paranoid theme, thinking they're being kept out of the loop. True. The other common paranoid theme is the government is working against us. I mean, yes, but that is caused by stupidity. At least with our government, I'm pretty sure that's caused by stupidity. They all don't know what to do. They're just stupid. We've got some useless politicians up there sometimes. Okay, I think this is actually time to watch the Alderby footage. Maybe there's some info in there.
Nothing, of course. The faculty thinks I've gone loopy, like some kind of spongy Mobius strip. That's why I'm here, isn't it, Dr. Dekker? Him, God, the great old one, the elder god, Cthulhu, however you address him. Listen to me! You're not listening! It's your only bloody job! Well, let's call him God. He creates this world for his amusement, something he can play with and occasionally alter to suit his mood.
The great
God
Cthulhu.
loves chaos, but something goes wrong. Man and woman evolve. What was once chaotic becomes, well, more ordered. Without chaos, he has less power. When there's too much order, he becomes impotent. So he needs to instill chaos again. And do you know how he does this? No. And yes, but you're being too granular. He needs chaos so he can return, and the only thing stopping him is you. Not just you. You and people like you. Psychiatrists, doctors, nurses. Anyone who is caring for people who are losing their sanity. You have no comprehension how important your job is, do you? He doesn't need your version of insanity to spread. He needs chaos. It's not the same. It's just a means to an end. They're not all cultists, unfortunately. Once you see the truth, it's hard not to spread chaos yourself, to cause further insanity and harm your own. I doubt it. But can I make you question your reality? Definitely. But in doing so, I would be promoting more chaos. On the basis the central component of our universe is chaos, science can only document a perception of the chaos at any one given moment in time. As, by definition, chaos is unpredictable from one moment to the next. Which means that at any given moment, we can choose to alter our perception of the world. No matter how much chaos that would cause. In 10 seconds' time, there will be no gravity in this room, and we will float. 3, 2, 1. You think nothing happened. Where's your glass, Doctor?
All hail Cthulhu, yes! Excuse me, sir, I would like to talk to you about the Lord and Savior Cthulhu. I suppose stuff was floating. We do not know. We do know that the camera went fucky. I mean, I know this is Lovecraftian horror, so... But... Damn, that's cool. That's so cool. Okay, so that didn't help. Did they find her? I don't know. How should I know?
I didn't have much luck with him, like I said. He didn't believe me. He thought I was having a hallucination caused by the stress of my neighbour being so brutally murdered. Where is Agnes, though? I haven't found her, have they? Have they?
Mirroring her might be the right solution to this. No, they haven't found her. 'Cause we get a couple of things out of what she said. First, Dekker didn't believe her. Probably because Agnes was never found. Maybe Agnes never existed. We don't know. But probably because Agnes was never found. she seems to also know that Agnes was never found, because they haven't found her, have they? So I'm gonna go with no, they haven't found her, to mimic and mirror her thoughts, her thought process here, to feel her more connected, to make her feel more connected.
They haven't found her because that thing ate her. Or made her disappear or something. Her useless husband managed to survive unscathed, though.
Her useless husband?
Don't know much about him. Other than the fact that he looks at me like I'm 6 foot under every time we meet. He doesn't seem too bothered she's gone missing either. He did at first, when the police were crawling around. But now they've gone, that stopped. If I hadn't seen that thing eat her, I'd...
She didn't say it, but let me complete that potential sentence. If I hadn't seen that thing eat her, I think he murdered her. Right? So do you suspect the husband to be involved? Because we're not saying murder. She has to make these connections on her own to find out if the Medusa thing is correct or not. She has to do this work on her own. As we talked about, we can only give her pointers, help her organize thoughts.
No. He's a Weasley little man who spends far too much time in his garden. It's probably like the National Trust back there. The constant digging and building, pruning and sawing.
Her look is so crazy, just pure. Yeah, she kind of looks like she had a lot of troubles in the past. Like she's racking her brain with a lot of stuff that's just fucked up happening around there. So let's just be a little more pushy about this. Wait. Who is it? Did she name a name?
He's a Weasley little man who spends far too much time in his garden. It's probably like the National Trust back there. The constant digging and building, pruning and sawing.
What was he digging?
What a thing to say! Why would you say that? I kept watching the front door after that saleswoman had left and nothing. She didn't leave, and you can't get out the back since the council sold the garage block. Ron's a gardener, not a killer.
Ron? Ron Weasley? He's a Weasley little man, and like, Ron Weasley, is that you? Why would you say that? Well, you know, I was thinking about digging a grave. Maybe she also made the connection. Of course, he took the flying car out. That's it. Instantly have Potter puppet pole stuck in my head. If I hear Potter puppet poles, my brain immediately goes to Snape, Severus Snape, Severus Snape, Severus Snape, Dumbledore. You know that one? Do you know that one? Anyway, that's what my brain does. Oh, I moved my hat too fast. Yes, exactly that one. Harry Potter. It's a beautiful piece. Okay, good. And we're all on the same page. But unless what? Think that thought with me, Lacey.
Agnes said Ron was laying the foundations for a new greenhouse. You don't think...
Let me continue that sentence. You don't think Agnes is in the foundation?
I need to call the police. I need to call them now.
No.
But they won't listen to me. I tried to tell them about the monster, but they didn't believe me. They won't believe me about this, I promise you. Please, could you call them, Doctor?
No, this is not the right spot to call the police. We have to figure this out first. And we can call the police if we have, like, more proof, accurate reason to believe. Because right now, this is just spinning thoughts, getting out her thoughts that she's keeping in her head. That is not yet a point where you call the police. If you end up fully understanding what is happening and you have enough proof, then you can call the police. So, no, I won't call the police yet. Let's figure this out.
I'll get someone else to do it.
Don't worry.
I suppose I shouldn't really expect any help from you. Dr. Dekker used to call me the leech lady.
Oh, we got a new achievement! Why did Dr. Dekker call you the leech lady?
He said that I leech thoughts from people.
What?
Suck them right out of their heads.
Eh? What's with
And
Dr.
I can put
Dekker?
thoughts in there too. I'm not that clever though, am I, Doctor? I mean, it's not as if I was having an affair with Ron and Agnes was in the way and needed to disappear. So I made this story up. I mean, what do you think I do for a living anyway?
I love how this just came out as if it was real. You never know, right? You never know. So if we, by the way, there's always the thing where licensed therapists and psychologists and psychiatrists have to completely make sure nobody else knows what you're talking about. Like, this is between Lacey and me in character. This is a one-on-one thing. Nobody else can listen in. Nobody else is allowed to listen in. I'm not allowed to talk about this because, you know, HIPAA, I think, is what it's called. But, you know, in Germany, it's just the thing that you have to keep quiet about it because, you know, this is a place of trust. However, if you have definite proof to believe that they will harm themselves or others, yeah, doctor-patient confidentiality. Thank you so much. Yes. So, if you have, however, as the licensed therapist in question, whatever you are, proof, undeniable proof, and reason to believe that they will hurt either themselves or others, or have hurt others, but then you have to have, like, undeniable proof. You are allowed to break that confidentiality. Brain. Talking is hard sometimes. You're allowed to break that agreement. That's, you know, for their own safety and the safety of others. But that's only and only then you can still not open up about everything. You can only talk about that specific thing to others, like to the police officials, you know, those that need to know it. And only absolutely to those. There is a thing where we can break out of if she ends up actually having done what she's currently suggesting. But, Dekker seems to be a kind of weird guy, you know? He's kind of wacky. Confidentiality. Yeah, I mean, I also wanted to say that, but my tongue didn't move, you know? My shrink had me put in a word for a few days after conversation in my teens, didn't have much faith in it afterwards. I feel that. I mean, usually that has to be undeniable. There's also, you know, if they don't know you well, like if you haven't had much conversation with them and they immediately put you in a word, that's in general a little extreme, in my opinion. But I cannot really tell if that was the correct action or not, because plus what, you know, one reason I've not been there, I don't know the exact things. I don't know what was going on in your respective heads, like yours and the one of that dude that put you on a ward. I don't know what the exact reasoning was, and I am not licensed nor knowing in that part. So yeah, but I can understand your side. I would have not have any trust in that person either. Danger to myself at that point, and know that in retrospect, serious case of survivor skills. I see. Well, then it was probably the right thing to do, but I can still understand that you may have not trusted him a lot afterward. Or them. You know? Just have this OCD about correcting people in English, I can't help it. Oh, it's fine, Shiver. It's completely fine, just... I sometimes cannot pronounce. That happens to me in every language I speak. I sometimes cannot pronounce. Sometimes my tongue just doesn't want to move the way I want it to move, if that makes sense. For some reason, for some words, I don't know how to pronounce them because I've ever just read them, never heard them or spoken them. It's happening again. Anyway, that word is one of the words that I know, but I've had the same issue with demonologist. I couldn't say demonologist for the fuck off me for 3 days straight. I could say it before, I could say it after, but 3 days, my tongue kept slipping up. I wish I knew how to correct that. It's just sometimes doesn't work. Sometimes my brain is weird. So, don't worry, Shiver. I don't hate you for that. I wanted to put me in a psych ward, but he knew that would probably make me worse. Nah. I had one person that wanted to put me in a psych ward, one that didn't want to let me out of the hospital I was in and wanted to put me in their psych ward. I was in the hospital because my doctor thought I could have a brain tumor, while stress and POTS just kept acting up together at some point, and that made me really have some issues. Where we now know that it's literally just POTS and stress, but because my doctor is usually overloaded, like he's stressed out to the max, he has too many patients. I've been thinking of going to another one, but then again, he has found out about my POTS and really, like, since that day gave me quality of life back, so I don't know, it's kind of weird. Like, I feel guilty to going to somebody else just because they might have more time for me, But then again, I try to not go to the doctor often anyway, because I feel like I'm a bother. I know that's not good, but, always go to a doctor if you feel bad. But so he hospitalized me so I could get the test done quick, because he really thought I might have a brain tumor because of the symptoms I was presenting with. I was just scared. I hate hospitals. But his issue was this was the only way to get the test done quick enough. And in the hospital, I still had to wait 3 days. Then the tests were done, and then they just wouldn't let me out. Like, I was like, could you please, have that last talk, because I have to get back to work, so we can, deal with it. You sent the stuff to my doctor, as it was planned, but turned out that they didn't find anything wrong with my brain, and, as such suspected a psychological issue. But I didn't want to talk with the psychologist because I was like, this is not what I'm here for, bro, go away. And I would, I have a hard time trusting people like that, because I had my fair share of bullshit in that case. With all the psychologists I didn't want to go through to, but that one teacher made me go to. So I was like, please just, can we get this over with? I'm not here for that. I just want to go home. I hate hospitals. And that was one of the weird diagnoses I got. It was entirely wrong yet again. My doctor was super weirded out when he got that slip from me, because I actually had to pick it up later. But since they cannot keep me there against my will, yeah, I'm also glad it wasn't a brain tumor, but since they cannot keep me there against my will, after that, when they still wouldn't let me out, and they started to get their fair share of issues because they needed to draw blood regularly, and I am severely afraid of needles. especially of syringes. Like other needles, okay, it's uncomfortable, but syringes, no. Pastrom I still haven't fully worked through, but I am on my way. I mean, I did get the COVID vaccine. I'm pretty proud of that I made it through it. Even through 2 times of getting that. Not promoting vaccines or anti-vaccines in any way. You do you, it's your body. But for me, that was a very important step. And trust me, I've had to tell so many people that no, I'm not anti-vaccine, I just can't do needles. But, you know, that happens every time I have that talk. So, and with drawing blood, it's the fucking same thing. Sometimes they wouldn't even get blood because it was simply not possible because I start losing my shit. I have no control over that. You know, fear is an idiot. They really thought something was mentally wrong with me. I mean, they are not wrong, but for different reasons than they thought. So, they actually were behind my back without talking to me, trying to get to my husband, who, like, back in the day, my husband, who was luckily not picking up the phone or whatever, to try and get permission to put me in the ward behind my back for, you know, through a legal way, so they could put me in the ward against my will. And I was like, when I found out about that, I was like, bruh, what's with you all? And they didn't talk about that with me at all. And I actually went out of the hospital because at some point I was like, but I can't let myself out, right? Like, against doctors' advice, I can't let myself out because it's just a hospital. And they were like, yeah, sure you can. I was like, I'm gonna do that now because I don't see a reason to stay here. You did all the tests. And I'm like, bruh, let me out. And I had to 2 days later get back and pick up the stuff that they found out on my own. And it turned out, like, they didn't... My doctor had to request the other test results because they didn't include them. They only included that they said, I am a shallow person, unable to feel emotion, and I am only defining myself through, like, the amount of friends I have or so. And I'm like, I don't even have that many friends, Brett. What's your issue? I didn't want to talk to you. Were you mad? But yeah, they said I'm an egocentric person and I am severely narcissistic. I was so mad about that back then. Now it's just kind of funny. So none of that was right. And none of those diagnoses can be made after 5 minutes of talk where I was literally blocking everything off. But fun fact, all my negative experiences were with people who just popped up a diagnosis after like 4 or 5 minutes of me not wanting to talk to them. I've been diagnosed with a multiple personality disorder. I know it's called differently today, but that is what I still have stuck in my mind because that was the diagnosis back then, by a school psychologist who, I don't know, was licensed enough to do that, but, you know, after one talk where I didn't want to talk with them, and they just listened to what teacher told them, and teacher told them, yeah, different teachers had completely different personalities of me to describe. So, they ended up just being like, yeah, she has split personality problems. And I'm like, no, Brett, I'm just mimicking different people in different classes because it's what fits best for the situation. I need to do this to survive. For me, it was like, you know, if you... I usually see what a teacher reacts to well, and then I try mimic that. There is like one thing that I go with because I understood that's like the gross amount of what teachers liked. So I could, you know, gain as much from their lessons as I could because I was interested in learning all the time, still am, and most of the time, and I still had like enough space in my mental sponge to just suck everything up that they would give me, and I wanted to do so wherever I could. Like, stress was still not at a maximum there. it came to a maximum later, but you know, that was, you know, I still had potential to learn and I wanted to use that potential. Friend has a similar problem. She has autistic meltdowns where she starts hitting herself and doctors tell her that she has BPD because she likes to hurt herself. Yeah. You know, that's also with me. I learn people diagnose wildly wrong things just because you're autistic. Because, you know, me mimicking other people is what I need to do, because otherwise I do not fit into the point that it will be hurtful to me. I have been hit so many times. I've been through so much shit in schools by mimicking not what I needed to mimic and not knowing how to mask properly, that I really learned it. And I was like, you know, this is the easiest way for me to go. If I do this, people won't hit me. Win-win, you know? They might still think I'm kind of weird, because, I don't know, people seem to feel if something's off if you're not, like, neurotypical, but they cannot put their finger on it, so they just tell you you're weird. But I can live with people leaving me alone because I'm kind of weird. I mean, thank God, I'm an introvert. Let's go. But I cannot live with people hitting me. So I did what I needed to do to learn and have people not hitting me. Which turned out to be either me, you know, trying different things. I've got like old end of the year slips from teachers where, you know, they also talk about your personality when you're still very young. And like every half year that personality changes, because every half year I was just trying to do other things to figure out how to fit in and how to mask properly. Hey, I'm like, this is not a split personality issue. This is masking. I'm sorry I do it to this extreme, but it's just what works for me. And you know, I like playing different characters. Okay, that may have been a little extreme at some points, but it's just also, you know, it's sad if you don't have fun in your life. So I at least want to have fun masking sometimes, you know? Because otherwise it's just too stressful. But yeah, so there is that. Yeah, because a lot of doctors aren't versed in autism or autistic spectrum disorders or ADHD, for example, because ADHD also has times where people mask. But I feel like as soon as it's autism, everyone dips out. Especially in adults. Like if it's in little children, you'll still find doctors, but in adults, no. The expert that went on autism didn't understand that masking is maybe he didn't know the word. I mean, I know I'm playing devil's advocate here. Maybe he didn't know the word. I didn't know the word either. I had no word for it. For me, it was fitting in. And then I heard others talking about it online and was like, oh, that has a name. I'm amazed. I learned about that name last year, to be honest. Before that, it was just me trying to fit in. Which is a sentence. And most of the things like present a little different in people who are on the autistic spectrum. A lot of therapists, psychologists, psychiatrists and such seem to not really know that. Or, you know, I don't know, my mom kind of knew that it existed and that it could be different. But at the same time, it was nice of her. She went the my child is not broken, my child is a genius route. First part, yeah, they had me in the first part, not gonna lie. But second part, I'm not a genius, I'm stupid. I just wanted to learn how to read quickly. I had different ideas of what I wanted to do as a child. So, while there are people specialized on childs who present with stuff on the autism spectrum, that really dies down for adults, because in adults it's so different. I tried to explain to him that I overanalyze people and try to make up social rules by that so I can fit in, that I feel drained because of that. Oh, I feel you, Shiva. Yes, that can be very draining. That's why I try to make it a game for myself, but it's still hard. And then I mimic people's behavior to feel normal. Yeah, or to, like, fit in. Because if you do not fit in, that feels shit. people make you feel shit. Like, I was asking myself, I was failing at being a human so many times. I mean, okay, I'm obviously a foxy, but, you know. Let's talk IRL. It's so bad, you know? I've got that thing going on plus burnout, so I'm severely stressed. And my stress symptoms show similarly to ADHD symptoms, so I can relate to a lot of ADHD memes as well, but I'm not sure if I, like, really fall into that because I do not relate to the most important things, and all of it, or almost all of it, really dies down completely as soon as I get rid of the stress. So I've kind of got stress ADHD. I don't know, but it's like there is also this thing, like, that might also present differently. And what I know about a lot of people is that people with autism are just wildly misdiagnosed a lot. I've had that so many times. I've been diagnosed with such wild things in my life. Like it's a hit or a miss. I'm so glad my mom kinda made me understand what those people were talking about. Like, she never was offering me therapy, because you don't do that with your own family. Saying that again and again and again. But she did help me understand what kind of diagnosis people came up with. And then I was like, yeah, but I'm not even close to that. And then I just asked the questions back, and she never, like, offered me therapy as such. She was a mom. Like, that was her thing. That's fine. And, but answering my questions and being able to answer my questions in that regard was so fucking helpful. That's why ADHD isn't taken seriously, because everyone has a little ADHD, because stress differences, it doesn't go away when you calm down. Yes! See, that's why I think I'm not on the ADHD spectrum, because that still is kind of a spectrum as well. I'm just a stress artist. I'm just stressed, you know? But the thing is, I am naturally chaotic. I also know that a lot of people I talk to, a lot of psychologists, then tell me, well, that both can be an adventure. But a lot of those had, like, told me, so do you like everything to be organized? Yes. Sure. I like to know where everything is that I'm searching for, because, oh heck, do I not go well with things not going my way. I'm trying to do it differently, but I can get so unreasonably angry because of that, and I'm so trying to learn to get rid of that behavioral pattern, but it's hard. Well, now, fun fact! I have a hard time keeping an organized and clean home. Because it's just like, it's so low on my list of priorities. As a child, I always used to, the genius lives in chaos. I always used to say that. Or the genius harnesses the chaos, because honestly, my mom came into my room, it was all in chaos again, everything lying on the ground. I mean, I knew where everything was, you know, but everything lying on the ground, and it looked chaotic as fuck, and she was, why is everything on the ground again? And I'm like, Mom, gravity. That's how gravity works. Honestly, I do have those close piles, you know? I do the very normal thing, surprisingly, that I have like a pile of clothes that need to go in the wash, I have a pile of clothes that I could wear again, and I have a pile of clothes that has been washed but still needs to be put away. And often the clothes hang here until I wear them again, because I just don't put them away. Like, my priorities lie somewhere else. I'm unfit to live on my own, honestly. I sometimes really think I'm unfit to live on my own. I think it's okay, but there are things I'd rather do during that time. It hurts my back when I do it, because my back muscles are, you know, fucked. So, and I hate not being able to do what I want to because of something I have to do. I am way too good at procrastination. Those are things that don't die down a lot when I'm stressed. Like, it's less chaotic when I'm not stressed, you know? But it's still chaotic to some degree, because it's just like that low on my priority list. What I need to know is where the stuff is that I'm looking for. When I know where everything is, it may look like chaos to everybody else, but it's like organized chaos for me. So like with a friend of mine where I was like, do you have one of these old 3D glasses, you know, with one blue and one red side? And he's like, I should have that somewhere. And he goes to one of the 1,000 piles of I don't know what's in there, just grabs in there and takes the glasses out. I'm like, I love you. You know? That's why I wouldn't be surprised if it is like 90% stress and like 10% very minor going into the ADHD region, but you know, I don't know. It would be a thing that I have to look into in a time where I'm not stressed. And to be completely honest, I think the only time in my life where I wasn't stressed were the first 3 years of my life. I've not calmed down since then. I haven't had time to be not stressed. I honestly don't know how to completely distress. I never learned how to completely de-stress myself. Eating food? Nah, this game isn't finishing itself. Drinking water? Nah, I need to finish that project I've been sitting on for like 6 hours without any sustenance. Hyperfocus. Yeah, I feel that. You're either hyperfocused or you have no motivation at all. There is no in between. At least sometimes I feel like it's like that. I do have days where I can function for other stuff, but that's rare. ADHD and autism have a lot of overlapping symptoms. They have. I've been spending most time in my life actually finding out how I work differently from other people and finding solutions to that. The thing is, those solutions are very unique to me, I suppose. And stuff may change as well. Like sometimes a solution that has worked for me for ages suddenly doesn't work anymore and I get a breakdown. I'm like, everything's too much, you know? But City Center has the issue that there are tons of people and you have two options. Either you learn how to ignore all of these people, which is hard, or you try to fit in with all of these people, which is hard. The latter is even harder. I'm okay with concerts because I can calculate a proper way to go for the mass. I know what is okay on a concert. Concerts and festivals kind of have a set of rules that I can follow. An open space with a lot of people doesn't have rules to follow except for like basic societal rules that I have, set for myself given experiences that I had. But apart from that, I still have a ton of issues. So I still try to go to city centers and everything when there is not a lot happening. Who's this person sitting there? That is Lacey. That is Lacey, the patient we're currently questioning. Why is she looking at me? Because you and, we are in the spot of a psychotherapist, of a psychiatrist, to be honest. We are filling in for Dr. Dekker, who has been murdered on Valentine's night with a knife. As far as we know now. We know that a lot of things are being fucky here. It's a little bit of horror. We found out earlier. So, yeah. I have generalized anxiety disorder, helps with that. Like, I can't sleep, I'm not worried about anything. Social stuff still stresses me out. I looked into that disorder thing a little bit, because I was interested after, what we found out about the mermaid person, about the mermaid patient. I can actually tie most of it to stress, and the only worry points are money. I'm only overlapping with that because of monetary issues, so I think it doesn't really count completely. But a lot of that connected. Like, it's also kind of funny to look into different things that might not work for you, like that might not be exactly what you have, but things to deal with that might give you pointers how to deal with similar problems you have. So that's why I love psychology and looking into stuff, because it helps me analyze myself, my differences, and how to deal with them. But then again, I do that way too much. But yeah, so we chat a lot about psychological stuff, about mental struggles. We chat openly about that, and you know, this game is very interesting because you have to type in the questions. I'll listen to the last question again, and we will go on because my goal is still to get them all greened out, and I at least want to have Lacey greened out for today. Let's do that. We can re-listen to the questions, to the responses. So
He said that I leech thoughts from people, suck them right out of their heads. And I can put thoughts in there too. I'm not that clever though, am I, Doctor?
thanks for the like.
I mean, it's not as if I was having an affair with Ron and Agnes was in the way and needed to disappear. So I made this story up. I mean, what do you think I do for a living anyway?
Let's play into her story here. You sell double glazing.
Doctor, you're so good. We're going to get on just fine.
What the heck? That was almost saucy the way she said it. Oh, I think she has like a lot of things to work through. I hope she can. Interested in where this will go though. I don't know if that amused her, if she thought I was saying that completely knowingly or unknowingly, I don't know. So we need new questions with her, but she hasn't greened out yet, otherwise it would have gone back to the patients. So let's just go back. We know Dr. Dekker was killed on Valentine's night, right? And she seems to be a little off on the department of killing people. So what were you doing on Valentine's night? Let's go the cop route, okay? She now says she was laying with Ron. Our dear Ron Weasley, as I will call him now.
I was at Henley Church. They had a service that ran right up till midnight. For us less fortunates without a love in their life. Well, now. Do you have someone, Doctor? Do you have a love in your life?
Oh my fucking god! I mean, Henley Church! Henley Church! Oh my god, Henley Church, that's where Bryce works! That's where he is a grave digger! And Claire is the stabby one! What if they are all in it? What if the patients are all connected via Henley Church? What if they all plotted to kill him? This is so cool! Oh my god, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And we get to do psychology stuff. I love it. So she asked me something. That is very important that I answer what she asked me. Okay, so what were you doing? She was in Henley Church. I'll just, you know, I noted that down. And she asked me if I have found love. Well, yes, I have found love. Multiple instances of it. I'm very lucky in that regard.
Keep them safe. You never know who's going to come knocking on your door.
Oh, I love her. Oh, Lacey, we greened her out. She's so cool. She's so unsettling. Back to the game. Yes, Jasmine. Okay, so the thing we do again, like, Jasmine is new, so we gotta get to know her as well. We know Bryce, Claire, Ellen, Mariana, Nathan. Mariana's best girl. He's not sus! But look at Mariana. Mariana's best girl. Thanks for the sticker though, Dantalian. She's like... Ooh, she's good. I love Mariana. She really reminds me of a mermaid. I love this character. And holy damn, I'm gonna do unprofessional answers with her. But yeah. I mean, I don't care about the free feed on my stream, but still, free feed on my stream? But, you know, because I'm actually not that much into feed. I just love the meme. She looks free, yeah. You know, I think she looks like she's from Ireland because of the red hair. Looking respectfully. Let's get to Jasmine, shall we? Jasmine is also beautiful, okay? Let's get to Jasmine, shall we? Who are you?
I'm Jasmine. I don't come in that often. What happened to Dr. Dekker?
Well, I noticed because you weren't here yesterday. Dr. Dekker was murdered. Let's just tell her how it is. She seems, so far, she seems pretty collected. Let's see what her issue is later.
Oh. When? How? Sorry, you probably don't know, do you?
No, I know. Let's ignore the when for now, because I want to ask her where she was. I'm now currently, for a moment in police mode, so I'm gonna do these questions first. So, Dr. Dekker was stabbed.
Ouch. I didn't really know him that well. I'm trying to remember what I was doing on Valentine's Day now.
I didn't say anything about Valentine's Day. Where have you been? No. What? Let's mirror her again. What were you doing on Valentine's Day?
We had a display in the gallery based on Love Conquers All, so I had to work. Mainly it was a collection of giant hearts sat on things, but I ran into another patient, Bryce. I'd never really spoken with him before, but he's quite an art critic. I couldn't get rid of him until I finished work at 11. There's actually another guy who takes over on the night shift. I'm not sure if he kept talking to Bryce though. Providence is open 24 hours.
Bryce was probably there during his special midnight hour, where he has 1 extra hour a day, like he told us. And her reaction was extremely sus. It was like she was straight out of hell. I didn't. Interesting. I didn't pick up on that. That's so cool. What's the type of work? Well, she seems to be working in the gallery. I'll ask her later. She acts like a child who's guilty. I met a child who's guilty during New Year's. That was different. We might also be looking at different pointers here. She's distracting herself. Well, let's tell it. She's not here because she's been questioned for a potential murder, even though she is a suspect. Mainly she's here because we're a psychiatrist filling in for Dr. Dekker. So let's just keep this short in the back of our heads, but like, go for it neutrally, because we'll see why she is here. And that might explain her behavior. Because sometimes people struggling with different mental health issues, or struggles in general, might present differently on when questioned in a certain way. So, for example, somebody who struggles with keeping attention on one thing might be looking like they are trying to distract themselves from a question you're asking them, while that is not what they intend to do. I'll accuse a random person and be right because I have amazing luck. Well, Atlas, be my guest. We also have the responses, so we can go back into this, but she talked about Bryce, right? Let her tell me a bit about your and thank you for the follow! Wow, welcome to the small community. Welcome to the family. Remember, Ohana means family, right? Thank you for following. Okay, so, with Bryce, tell me about it.
There's There's not much to tell. I knew he was a patient here. I'd seen him in the waiting room a couple of times. He likes art and talking and looking down here instead of up here.
Gazebo! Thank you for the resub! Welcome, Gazebo! Heck, thank you for the resub on level 3!
When you see a painting, it stands still. When I see one, it's moving. Like a mini film. Like little vines.
That's
But
why
when
she's
there's a
interested.
person in the painting.
So she, that's why she's looking at the paintings up there, at the images, at the Rorschach images.
When you see a painting,
Let's look this again.
it stands still. When I see one, it's moving. Like a mini film. Like little vines. But when there's a person in the painting.
I wonder what happens when there is a person in a painting, because that varies differently. Like schizophrenia has a lot of potential things going on with hallucination, and they can like show themselves very differently. Like that's also an umbrella term as far as I know. So that's very interesting. I actually had to calm down a kid once. Kid with schizophrenia, that was like, she had the issue with the moving pictures actually, so this is pretty similar, funnily enough. And she like got a full-on panic attack in an escape room, where I was leading, and I was luckily not the one leading the escape room. That was a colleague of mine back then, but he made sure she got out safely. But he wasn't able to stay with her, but my group was already done, so I stood with her and I calmed her down for like 30 minutes, explaining everything to her that she heard, just did breathing exercise, and, you know, just did what I always would have wanted. I'm not telling her she is wrong, because this is right for her. I'm telling her those pictures stay inside. She won't have to see them anymore. She doesn't have to go inside. Like her entire party, actually, those were all children. We're talking about kids here. Everybody she was in the room with was so understanding of her. Like they came out, they immediately asked, "Are you okay? How are you feeling? And we're so proud of you that you made it out in one piece. And it must have been hard for you and everything." And they sat there. They didn't say anything for a while. Just let her be. It was just, wow. I was so proud of those kids. So, you know, this can be very scary, especially when it's in a horror setting. And that room was a horror room. I don't know why she got put into there. Maybe because she liked the topic, and of course she didn't know what she was exactly getting into. And of course you want to try and have a normal life, especially if you're medicated and stuff. So I couldn't understand the teacher telling me like, well, then she shouldn't have gone into it. Yeah, deprive the kid of her life just because of a condition she has, okay? What an idiot. So the paintings move. But what happens when there is a person in the painting?
They watch me.
Ooh.
Normally disapprovingly.
Oh, that must be harsh. Now the thing is, why could that happen? If we think about that, there could be multiple reasons. The true reason will only be a reason she can find for herself. But sometimes the things we see for ourselves are things that subconsciously we might think of ourselves. So maybe she feels like, you know, she's not fully approving of herself. Maybe she's subconsciously disappointed in herself for some reason. But, you know, that's the thing she has to figure out. But we can, you know, ask more so she can try and figure it out. So we're gonna ask, why do they watch disapprovingly? Is that how you write it? I think that's how you write it.
Because they don't think I know how to appreciate art. Because I'm too young.
So she knows why. That might be a thing she just projects onto the people in the art, but... You know, as I said, it's... real for her. So do you appreciate art? What does she think?
Yes, of course. Otherwise I wouldn't be working in an art gallery. I love art. I love paintings. Like I said, they move for me.
She does appreciate art. So they were moving, right? Let me ask a little bit about the paintings. How do the paintings move? Because she came back with the last question. She said, like, she appreciated they move for her.
When I want them to, normally. When I want to really get inside what's going on. But some paintings, I can't stop.
So she kind of makes it happen, but then she loses control. That's interesting. Now, which paintings can't stop moving?
I've been working on portraits at home, outside.
Oh, that must be weird if they
my
move.
paintings aren't so good. Nowhere near Providence standard. I painted a man, Dorian. You know, after Dorian Gray.
Oh no, does he age for you? I'm sorry. Don't we all have a portrait hanging somewhere that ages for us? That's normal, right? Please tell me that's normal. Otherwise I have to keep, like, I have to put it somewhere else or something. Well, tell me about the person. Tell me about Dorian.
I wanted to try and capture someone aging, so I divided the face into thirds and painted a boy, his father, and his grandfather in each third.
Cool idea.
It was hideous. And
It's a cool idea, though.
Started talking to me.
That must be weird. That must be so creepy. If you live through it, wow. You paint a painting that is like 3 ages at once, and then all of a sudden that combination of I'm so glad I'm not in your head, Jasmine. That must be creepy as fuck. What did Dorian say?
That I'm ugly. That I have no talent. Nothing will become of me. Is that true, Doctor?
Seems to be what she thinks, though. Portraits seem to, like, throw the internal thoughts that she has back at her while she tries to run away or something. What do you think? Well, I don't think that's true.
I hear it so many times in that wretched painting. It's in my head. But thank you.
I like that she smiles, then it comes back to her, and then she thanks us. Then I ask her to tell me about Dr. Dekker, but that's not everything.
I hear it so many times in that wretched painting. It's in my head. But thank you.
It's in my head.
Thank you, Doctor. I'll think about that. And the prescription, please?
Prescription? It's in your head. What? This is confusing. Oh, what? Prescription?
No, sorry.
Are you talking about tablets?
I don't really have anything to say about that.
Confused. Maybe later. So, how often do the paintings talk to you? I'm confused here. I'm missing stuff. Did we ask about
He was
this?
shy.
Just go away
No
from it
less.
first.
When I told him about my problem,
Stinky Million!
he told me to set fire to it.
What? What? Let me...
He was shy. And then less so. When I told him about my problem, he told me to set fire to it.
He told you to set fire to it? Again here, mirroring trust.
Yeah, he could have been more specific. I tried to set fire to Providence. At that time, I thought the only way to fix my problem was to set fire to the entire art gallery. Several
Stinky Mochi.
paintings didn't make it. Luckily, my boss didn't press charges.
Oh,
The police did arrest me, though.
Wait, because of the fire I missed stuff.
Yeah, he could have been more specific. I tried to set fire to Providence. At that time, I thought the only way to fix my problem was to set fire to the entire art gallery. Several paintings didn't make it. Luckily, my boss didn't press charges. The police did arrest me, though.
Girl, yours... It must be nice to be so, easy-minded. Yes. I mean, yeah, he could have been more specific, right? I bet he meant burn Dorian's portrait. If she were a pyromaniac, I would completely understand that because, you know, fire is nice, looks nice, it's fun. Burning things is fun. But just like cutting things is also fun. I've got a couple of weird hobbies, I'm sorry. But yeah, it's a red flag for a therapist to just tell you to burn it. Burn your problems. It's like, of course people will burn their workplace. What did he think would happen? I mean, yeah, she is quite simple-minded in that moment, but it's a logical conclusion. It's a logical conclusion. Oh my. Why didn't your boss press charges?
My boss, Petra, she's just lovely like that. Providence has gone through some tough times, and I've only been there a year. She invested her life savings, and it's still not making any money.
No.
Such a sweet lady. You'd do anything for her.
No, she seems really like a sweet lady. I'm so sorry all of her stuff burned because of this interaction, you know, of her and Dr. Dekker. And she worked so much for it. I'm sorry. Okay, so she's just nice. The boss didn't press charges. Did Petra know about you setting fire to the Providence?
Dr. Dekker told me to burn it. It was nothing to do with Petra.
You said you would do anything for her. Maybe she knew. And that's what she didn't press charges, but I guess she thought I told her that she told her, but I didn't. Did the fire lead to some insurance money?
No. Why are you saying that? I don't even know if Petra has insurance.
Well, could have been good for her then, though. Especially if it's not kinda... If it's not making money and only sucking money out of people, at some point that might be too much of a hassle. Was Dorian destroyed in the fire? Like, is it in
I
there?
already ripped up the painting.
Oh, you did?
It screamed as I cut it. And now whenever I close my eyes, I can see it, hear it. I need the tablets, Doctor. I need them.
Wait, what tablets? Oh!
The temazepam, the sleeping tablets. The ones you gave me last time.
He is giving an awful lot of temazepam. I've heard that a couple of times now. Everyone gets temazepam of this guy.
The temazepam? The sleeping tablets. The ones you gave me last time.
But wait. No, stop. I didn't give you anything last time. This is the first time. Sitting.
Dr. Dekker gave them to me.
Okay.
They helped. I know it's in my head.
It was
I know
okay,
paintings
okay.
can't talk.
That's
What's
good.
wrong with me, Doctor? Why do I do this?
I don't know. Oh, we cleared Jasmine. Oh, we did it, chat. We did it. We cleared 2 people again. So next time we can go on with Bryce, and then we can slowly clear them out again, all of them. Oh, that's so cool. That's so cool. Let's see. We're at 19% still. Currently still 0% act progress. Yeah, well, we didn't get a lot out of this. I got has some issues. I mean, yeah, but they are, you know, in a sitting with a psychiatrist, which is us. So, of course, they all have their struggles. Responses found. A couple. Searches made. Okay. Still 0 hints. That's good. We want to go. Want to go without 0 hints. With 0 hints. We want to go without hints for the achievement. Doctor, your curious nature will see you through. Your patients like you. That's weird. Detective rating. Registrar. Oh, so that's our detective Nice. Ignore my my background real quick. I closed the game. I didn't think of it. That's my favorite dinosaur, by the way. I love Stegosaurus. Stegosaurus is nice. It's the best. He's the best. Let's get some rock in, shall we? Some nice rock. I like rock. And yeah. So everyone, thank you so much for being here today. Oh, thank you for keeping me company, everyone. It's been very fun. Oh, I'm also having fun all the time with you all. It's been 4 hours. I got to do other things, sadly. I can sadly not live off only the stream. It would be awesome, but I'd love to spend all my day with you all. But to my dismay, that's how it is. See you then. Bye-bye. Mwah. Hey, thank you so much for watching. And don't forget to subscribe. It really helps me out. And thank you so much to Zelex90 and Westmate87 for supporting me on Ko-fi to make these videos happen. And you can also support further videos coming up and see your name here in the credits. Just hit the link in the description and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye!